Hi, my name is Laurie Cathers, and I'm a research associate for the Department of Rehabilitation Counseling in the School of Allied Health here at VCU. I'm excited to be a part of the Addiction Studies Continuing Education program, and I'm very grateful that you have found your way here to us. Our communities are in crisis, and all of us have been impacted in some way by addiction. When I was asked to do this testimonial, I was trying to figure out what could I share with you that would communicate the vision that I had for this program, a vision that is shared by many of us that are doing this program. And so I want to take a moment and share a story that's a very powerful one in my life. A few years ago, I was sitting in the office of one of my healthcare professionals. I had a checkup, and we had known each other for several years. And this is a man that I greatly respect and admire. He is probably one of the most compassionate men that I know, genuine, faith-filled, giving. Everything was about serving others and helping others. Well, we got into a conversation about addiction. He knew what I did at VCU, and he had some questions. He was seeking more knowledge. And in the process of our conversation, I was moved to share with him something I had not shared with him previously. But for whatever reason, I felt it was time to tell him my story. And to put it in context, this is at this time, and this was a couple years ago, I did not share my story with anyone. Only a few close people really knew what had happened and what was still going on. I shared with him that I'm a person in recovery, and like so many others, I was trying to drown out feelings that I didn't want to feel, and I thought I could find them in the bottle, and that wasn't the case. And my life turned to chaos, and I went into a very dark place. And fortunately, I was very blessed to have some really great people who are very near and dear to my heart, and they know who they are, that helped me move towards recovery. And I shared with him the process of that and how frightened I was and how I wasn't quite sure if I was going to be able to make it. But that I had to give myself that chance, that opportunity, because I started to see myself as a person who did have value. As I shared with him my recovery journey, it was one of those moments, and I know you all know what I'm talking about. It is that moment where you remember everything about it, how it felt, how the lights were, the sounds that you heard, the smells that you could smell. You remember that moment, and it's a moment you can always go back to in a blink of an instant. And it was a very powerful moment, and it was a quiet moment, and it was genuine. And he had stopped after we were done talking, and he put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, "Laurie, you are one of the strongest people I know." And I was just taken back. And I was like, wow, here is this incredible man who many of us looked up to, who wanted to be more like, who empowered us and inspired us to be better people, to serve others. And he's telling me how strong I am and how good of a person I am. I don't know if he really knew the power that statement had then and how much power it still holds now. It is a statement that I go back to anytime that I'm struggling or I feel challenged, and I go back to that moment, because you can just go back there. And I hear his voice, and I remember that not only does he believe how strong I am, but everyone around me in my circle believes how strong I am. It all started because we had a conversation, and he wanted to know more about addiction. And through me telling my story and him listening, he found in his heart the words that really have become a mantra of sorts in my long-term journey in recovery. You are the strongest person, or one of the strongest people I know. And just like you right now, you're here on our webpage, watching our videos, sharing in our stories, exploring our courses. Whether you're here as a counselor or a nurse, a physician, a dentist, a pastor, law enforcement, family friend, community member, person in recovery, person looking for recovery, regardless of why you're here or where you're coming from, we're all here seeking information to gain that deeper understanding and for you to identify how you can use your strengths and your talents to become a brick in someone's recovery. We're all impacted by addiction, whether it's through our work or through just our regular participation in our community or because we know of someone. This is what my vision is for the program. And it rings back to the story I just shared with you, that moment I experienced where this person was not an addiction professional, but he had a tremendous impact on my recovery journey just because he came seeking information. It is the example of how we need to learn as much as we can, but we have to learn it together. And the program is designed here for us to share our experiences and our stories so we can grow as one community in knowledge. So I hope you find the information and the experience you're seeking with us, and that you get empowered by the information you receive, that you work together to build networks and relationships across professions and across our communities. This is how we reduce the stigma of addiction. This is how we all come together to be the foundation of our own community's recovery. I am so thankful you are here with us, and I believe we can be successful in addressing this crisis if we do it together, armed with knowledge and overflowing with compassion.